Good morning, Edna Keep here. Welcome to my, excuse me, Free Coaching Friday. So I do have a few questions that I've gotten in the last few days that I'm going to share with you. But please type into the box there if you've got any questions, and I'll answer them for you as well. Recently I've received some feedback from some of the people on my list that time is a real issue for them. Like, how the heck do they do this real estate thing on the side when they're busy with their job and running after their kids and all the day-to-day activities that we have to do? Well, you know what? I can feel for you, first of all, because we started real estate investing when, our girls were 3 and 5. And we actually dragged them with us a lot when we were looking at properties. And I still remember it was so funny because we were actually looking at new homes at the time to get ideas for our new build. And they didn't mind going there. And then when we started going to rental properties, they didn't like that. They thought that we don't want to live here. So I had to remind them that this was our business, that it was not a place that we were going to be living. And that's something that I need to remind people too when they're looking at rental properties, is look at it with an objective eye. Don't think, well, gosh, I wouldn't live here, because you know what? Tenants just live a little bit differently than you do. I mean, we like to offer clean, safe, affordable housing, but you're not going to have the best flooring in those places because they get wrecked. People, a lot of tenants, and I'm not saying all, but they're not used to looking after stuff. They've been maybe tenants their whole lives. And they really, once it starts looking rough, they just get up and move into a new place, and then it's up to us to fix it up again. So, and some tenants actually prefer a place not so fixed up, and they get cheaper rent. So just different things to think about there. But again, time management. So what I like to recommend to my students is put the big rocks in first. That means the stuff that you really, really want to accomplish, do those first. So if setting your priorities every day, each morning I actually sit down, and the first thing I do before I open my email is I set down my priorities for the day, things I want to accomplish. And just to prove that to you, I'm going to give you an idea of some of the things that I need to accomplish today. So one of them is there's a gift I want to get off to my mastermind and 90 day to 5K clients. And I want to do that today. It's a book I've been reading. I absolutely love it, and I know they will too. So I'm going to get that done. We have to get our passport photos because they all expire in January. So we want to make sure that we get our passport photos. And then I need to plan a time slot for my next 90 day to 5K. It's going to be during the day, and I just have to pick my time slot, and I want to do that today. And I also have a coach training coming up for existing people that are in my mastermind, and I've got to talk to my students today to make sure I get a date that everybody can show up. And I'm trying to plan it around my Christmas party that's coming up on December 2nd. So it's something that has to be done today. So that's my list of things I need to do today. That's my big rocks. Now, I know I also have 4 coaching calls booked. Those are in my calendar. I will do this stuff around that stuff. But those are your big rocks. So if you know that one of the things that you need is knowledge when it comes to real estate investing, plan a time to read that book. It might be after you put the kids in bed at night, but put it into your calendar and then do it. Don't say, oh gosh, I'm tired, I'm going to watch TV instead. Actually, sit at your office desk, sit on the couch, keep the TV off, and read that book, or get on a webinar, or talk to somebody about your goals, what you want to accomplish. Because I find that the biggest time waster out there is television. There's absolutely nothing good on television. There's, And you know, I get caught up in it every once in a while. I like to watch my CSI shows, but you know what? It's always after I've got my big rocks done. I don't say, oh, well, very seldom say, oh gosh, I'm too tired to do anything tonight. The odd time I do, especially if it's a Friday or Saturday. And you know what? That's okay. But if you decide, and that's the first thing, you have to decide that this is important to you. Then you have to prioritize it. And you know what? Kids are flexible. If you need to drag them along with you when they're young, they'll go with you. Make it fun. Do something maybe before you go, maybe do something after you go looking at your houses, that sort of thing. Try not to spend 2 hours talking to the seller, because you know what? You really don't need to. Maybe this is the time that you hand the child the iPad and say, here, play with this while I talk to the seller. We've done that. And or maybe you give them a craft to work on and make it challenging for them. Say, you know, I want to have you have this done by the time our meeting's over. Can you do that? And then we'll go for ice cream. And you know, make it fun. And they might complain a little, but you know what? Like they're flexible. They can work with that stuff. And if it's a baby, hell, slap her on your back or on your front in your little carrier, and they'll sleep on your chest while you do that kind of stuff. And so that's those are some of my points when it comes to managing your real estate. Actually, it's not even just your real estate business; it's your life. If your kids are a priority, which ours are, I don't turn, or very seldom turn my computer on in the morning before school. So I keep myself available to them from 7:30 till 8:30, because that's generally what time they get up and they're wanting to talk and help get you know, their lunch made and stuff like that, and a hug and a kiss out the door. And then I sit at my desk and start working on my emails. Another thing I've learned, and I'm not real good at it myself, but is avoid going through your emails and being on someone else's schedule for the day. Take that first couple hours and focus on the things that you need to get done. And again, this is something I'm doing. So there's things that I need to do every week, and that's work on content creation. So I like to set that time aside. I haven't got real good at doing avoiding my emails first, but I always set time aside, and I get my content creation done, whether that's videos, blogs, or working on some courses that I'm doing. Client attraction is another one. This would be a client attraction strategy. So I do that every Friday. I do other things as well for client attraction, and also my marketing team is always working on that for me. So those are a couple things. One of the things I'm concentrating on this week is getting some thank yous out there to people who've worked with me over the past year. It's a nice time to say thank you to everyone, because Christmas is around the corner. So it's a good time for people to be thankful for the people that are in their life, and say a nice Merry Christmas and thank you for working with me. So I hope those tips helped. If they do, give me some hearts and or thumbs up or whatever the thing is nowadays. And if you have any questions, please let me know. I'll just go on. I do have a couple more. The other thing too is when you're dealing with your emails, answer them immediately. Don't read them and then put them off. If you can answer it, even if it takes you 3 minutes to think about it, get it out of your inbox. Answer it or put it to the side. Another thing that I've learned that's really powerful is don't put all your emails, like set up those rules where they go to different email accounts, and then use those, or email files on the side. I don't know if you know exactly what I mean, but I set them up so that a lot of the knowledge-based stuff that I can do on my time goes into a different file, and then when I've got time, I go look at it. Even just screening that so it doesn't end up in your main email box is a huge time saver. The other thing is if you find yourself deleting a lot of stuff that you're getting, go to the bottom and unsubscribe. If you've deleted it for 5 days in a row or 5 weeks in a row, you're probably not interested anymore. If you are interested and it's just a timing thing, then just set it, put it to a different file and go to it when you have time on your schedule. Thanks, Amanda. I hope you get use out of that, because if you are answering your emails and working on other people's time frame, you're answering this and answering that, it can get to be a time waster. Good morning, Corny. Corny says here, I tell the man in the mirror every morning what an incredible, awesome person he is, and that God's rearranging. Oops, I missed something here. Just give me a second. I didn't do that right. Sorry, this technology stuff is fun. Where'd Corny go? There we go. And that God is rearranging the universe around me to line up so I can fulfill my lot in life, no matter what the outside world and economy looks like. And you know what? That is a great way to start your day. Think something positive, whether it's a mantra that you say to yourself or something that just gets you on track, saying, you know what, I'm incredibly awesome. I can do whatever I set out to accomplish. And I'm actually going to try to bring Corny on in just a few minutes and let him tell you about the absolute fantastic deal that he's just manifested into his life. And it's a real estate deal, and it's a big deal. So we're very, very excited. One of my friends here, Judy, good morning, Judy. She says, what email service do you use? You know what? I use Infusionsoft. Now, Infusionsoft is a nightmare. Honestly, I don't actually use it myself. My marketing team does. And even now, when I need stuff done with Infusionsoft, I have to give it to them. The reason that I went with Infusionsoft is it is the most comprehensive plan. Like, there's so much that Infusionsoft can do. It can tell me who's opening my emails, who's reading the emails, who's spending time on my videos, different stuff like that. So it's not something that the average person needs. Now, MailChimp, which is the one you asked me about, is an easy one. And if you're wanting to, I believe there's even a free part to MailChimp. So all my clients and customers, that's what I recommend to them, is to use MailChimp. And, you know, even my coach, he says to me, Edna, don't get Infusionsoft. It's a nightmare to deal with. And I said, but you use Infusionsoft. And he says, yeah, but I got a team to do it. So instead of listening to the don't get, I got the team to handle it. So Chandel's on here and she says, yes, Infusionsoft is a total nightmare. So yeah, I don't recommend it till you're at a certain point, because, you know, again, that one's $300 US a month to run it. So you got to be making money to be able to use it. MailChimp's free or almost free. And then when you get a certain amount of clients, I believe then there's a charge. And again, it's minimal. Supposed to be one of the easiest ones run out there. So good question. Thanks, Jude, for that, because I've actually had quite a few questions on that recently that I've been answering, saying, yeah, use MailChimp, use MailChimp. I even had one of my clients said, I actually got an email saying he had been spamming people, and I know the type of person he is. He just wouldn't do that. And I said to him, what's up? How come you got this notice? And here's the one that I got. And he said, you know, I just emailed people to let them know I put an ad somewhere and I'm not really sure how to fix this. And I said, you know what? Just apologize to everybody, because everybody, you know, everybody knows you on your list. They know you wouldn't do this on purpose. But go out and get MailChimp. Go get MailChimp, because if you're going to be emailing people on a regular basis, you need something like that, because that gives people an opportunity to unsubscribe if they want to, and that's a really big thing. Chandel also says on here that she really loves ConvertKit. And believe me, she would be somebody who knows. So, okay, I gotta say this from Corny too. This is so cool. He says, where else, and he's talking about the real estate business that we're in, where else can your business increase your net worth by 2,000% by putting your signature on a mortgage document? you need a rock star coach and think bigger. And that is so true. We when we started, we just wanted 50 doors so that we could get our sandwiches paid for, like Courtney always says. And we started thinking bigger and thinking bigger. And you know what? Courtney and John even have me thinking bigger, because when they first approached me with the deal that they're working on, they were working on a 30 unit, which is in my comfort zone, right? Because we've bought lots in that comfort zone. And I said, well, let's finish the 30 unit you're working on, because I think their question was to me, do you think we can raise $2 million for this deal? And I said, well, it's going to be difficult. Well, let's concentrate maybe on getting the first one done. And they said right back to me, which was so good, we have a coach that says, never let money stop you. You got to think bigger. And this, or how they put it, we have a coach in White City, Saskatchewan that says, never let money stop you, and you've got to think bigger. And I went, oh my gosh, I've heard those words come out of my mouth. Okay, you know what? Let's work on it. We've been working on that deal together now for 10 months. And we got a lender on board, and it looks like we're going to be taking possession in a couple months. So this is a really exciting deal. So I'm going to see, because Chandel gave me some direction on how I can bring Corny in, and I just want him to give you the details on it, because they're so excited to be doing this. So she says to add someone to your live broadcast, swipe left until you see live viewers. And I can't get it to do that. Let's see. Okay, sorry, Chandel, I can't get it to swipe left. That's my first thing. I can get it to swipe. Okay, Chandel says, P.S. We can't bring Corny Cron on live today, but we'll record something and send it. And for the rest of you, you know what? Corny's going to do a Facebook Live today, and he's going to talk about this. He can't talk about it, can't give you real details, because it's not 100% final. Like, he can't give you, addresses and stuff like that. But he can talk about how he, was scared to ask for a vendor take back in the first place, because the vendor take back on this deal was going to be $1.5 million. And you know what? He did it. And he said, I remember pulling over to the side of the road and just praying about it. Like, that just seems so out of my comfort zone. And I prayed about it, and I went in and I asked, and I got it. And this last time, he actually went in and he said, my confidence is so much higher. And he said, I went in and I asked for actually asked for $1 million off the purchase price from the original one that we'd got. They'd got, because they negotiated this whole thing. I just backed them up. And they asked for $1 million off, no vendor take back, because we got that covered. And the couple said, you know what, we're going to pray on it tonight and let you know tomorrow. And they got $500,000 off. So that's all I'm telling you. But you guys need to find John and Corny today, and you need to listen to you need to get notifications when you hear their Facebook Live, because they're going to tell you a little bit more on that. And one of the biggest things that they've said right from the start of working with me is that their mindset changed. And it changed quickly. These guys really got it very, very quickly. Within 3 months, they had their first deal under contract. And now, just slightly over a year later, their first deal was worth just under $3 million. Their second deal 13.5 million. So that'll tell you something. So confidence is a big thing. Having someone in your corner is a big thing. And with that said, I want to remind you guys that I do have a course coming up. It's starting December 1st. It's my 90 Day to 5K course. It's something all my mastermind students go through, and I have had great feedback from everybody who's been through it. And I'm opening the doors again for December 1, and it's phenomenal. And you want to change your life over the next year, start with this course. Start with it. It is going to teach you so much. And yes, I do spend time on mindset because I think that's a huge part of building your real estate portfolio. And it's a life changer, everyone. So watch your emails, watch my ads. It's going to be coming up soon. Set up a strategy call with me, because we don't always fit. And if we're not going to fit, I'll be the first to tell you, because there's certain criteria that I need people to you know what, it's almost a mindset thing. I'm looking to see, when we're having our call, I'm looking to see if you have the belief in yourself, because that is a big thing. And I mean, I can help with that, and I've helped a lot of people with that. But you have to have the belief in yourself to be able to dish some money out to look after yourself, because it's like that classic on the airplane thing. You know what? The plane, the oxygen levels are dropping. You need to put your mask on first. And that's one of the things that I'm asking you to do. Step out of your comfort zone. Get that mask on first. Look after yourself. Because if you can look after yourself first, you can start looking after everybody else even better. So when I get excuses like, oh, I can't take money out of my family budget to do a course like this, you know what? That's an excuse. If you really want to do it, and you really want to change your life in the next 90 days, change your mindset, change your life, you'll do it. I have a way of going through with people and showing them how to find that money if it's important to them. So if that interests you, get me, book a strategy call with me, and we'll spend some time, and I'll let you know if I can help you. And if I don't think I can help you, I'll point you to some other resources. Courtney says here, best money we've ever spent, not only in business, but personally as well. And John and Courtney just went to us with us to a mindset retreat in Fort Lauderdale. And again, their mind is expanded. Courtney actually says he feels like he takes up more space in the world now, and that he deserves it. And isn't that a powerful way to be thinking? And you know what? These guys have a lot of value to offer the world. So I'm expecting even bigger and better things coming forward in the next year. It's a really exciting time for us. Chandel has put on here, book a one-on-one call, https //apply.ednakeep.com. Apply now. That's for a call. That call's free. I'll spend a half an hour with you figuring out if there's a way we can get you moving forward, and I'm very good at helping people move forward if they want to. If you're struggling with belief in yourself, I can help you with that too. So book that call, and let's do something different for 2017. I challenge you to step up, look after yourself. I've got a few more questions here before I sign off. Just give me a second. Here we go. Okay. The name of the book that I'm going to buy for my students, you know what, I can't even remember the name on it. I know it's by Dean Graziosi. Dean Graziosi is somebody who had all kinds of challenges as a young person. Dyslexia, was told over and over again he was stupid. Now he is I'm not sure how many times, but he's hit the bestseller list so many times. And I have not even finished his book yet, but I'll post it in one of my next videos, or maybe I'll send it over to Chantel later and she can add it on to this. It's like Millionaire Secrets or something like that, but I can't remember the exact name of it. But it is so good. He has taken his struggles with dyslexia and not being able to read properly and stuff like that, and he's turned those challenges into strengths. You know, he says he can get on stage and he can talk for hours with very little for notes because he learned to compensate for his challenges. So sometimes people's challenges are the best thing that could ever happen to them. And the sooner you can start looking at that sort of thing too, you know, that your challenges could be challenges other people have, and you can share how you overcome them with people. So I will tap it out as soon as I figure out what the call is, but I'd have to go to my phone and log off in order to be able to get that, so I can't do that for you right now. But it is Dean Graziosi, and it's his new book, so if you want to look it up, check that out too. Okay, Chandel's asking me, what do I like to do for thank you and Christmas gifts for your clients? Well, you know what? I like to, first of all, I'm having a Christmas party at my house because I love parties and I love interacting with my students. They're amazing people to hang around with, and they're my favorite people to hang around with. So our Christmas party's coming up, and we'll have it catered, and we'll have a few drinks, and we'll just have fun. And my gift this year is going to be this book. I'm gonna do a Kindle book to them, which is something I have to figure out today, is how do I do that. And it's been a great thing to do in the past too, is books, because I love books. I love reading, and if I can find a way to get an audiobook to the people who don't like to read, I'll definitely do that option. But it's a very easy read. You know, he keeps it in. It's interesting. I just, every night before bed, I've been reading this book, and it's so good. There's so many things in there, so many golden nuggets that we can take away and use for our business. So I'd highly recommend it. And other Christmas gifts. You know what? My biggest thing I like to do is the party. And I like to do that. Maybe I'm a little selfish, but because I love hanging around with these people. I love good food and fine wine, and I just love spending an evening together with them. And those are usually my biggest gifts. I also do a friend, family, and neighbor party, which is 2 weeks from then. And same thing. I love hanging around with these people, and that's my gift. I'm not one to go shopping. I don't like shopping at all. And one of the things that I know I would do more often, I would give more gifts if I had a full-time assistant who would look after doing that stuff for me. Because I love giving gifts, but I just don't always have the time and I don't always think about it. You know, I'm not the auntie that sends out birthday cards or Christmas cards. I think I've done Christmas cards once in my life. That was the year we got married, and we used our wedding pictures to send out, maybe once since then, but very seldom. I know when I get Christmas cards, I like them. They're pretty, but I just don't do it. So sorry if that upsets you, but that's how I've chosen. That's how I've chosen to do that. It's not, that's just the way I am. That's how I've chosen. I've chosen not to do that. I'd much rather give books or knowledge, because I think that's stuff that can change your life. Okay, what's next for questions? Here's a good question. I've just gotten a 6-unit building under contract, and there are 3 vacancies. This is happening a lot in Saskatchewan right now. I'm feeling nervous about the whole tenant screening process, and have had a few people tell me their horror stories. Of course, everyone wants to share those, don't they? Do you have any advice for tenant screening that you could share with me? You know what? I have some really good advice, and we use property management, so mostly our property managers look after this. But I listen. I'm a RAIN member. RAIN is Don Campbell's group out of Edmonton, Alberta. And I'm a remote member. I have been since 2007. And this month's CDs, and I prefer to get them by CDs because I love listening to them in my truck. If I'm in front of my computer at home, I've got a dozen other things to listen to, and I have no CDs in my truck. So I prefer to get CDs. So I get those CDs every month and I listen to them from start to finish. It is a ton of knowledge and great, great, great information. One of the things that they're sharing with us right now is because in Alberta, they're actually experiencing higher vacancy rates as well. Especially in Grand Prairie and different places like that. So one of the things that they say over and over again is get credit checks on your clients. And they said in days past, their credit scores needed to be over 600 in order to rent to them. And there's reasons for that. People who keep a good credit score will probably pay you. That's a big thing. People with not so good credit scores, well, they're money challenged already, so good chance that they may not pay their rent, or they're going to be the late ones and the ones who have the excuses and everything else. So credit check is important. But they also said that now that that vacancy rates are higher, they've reduced their credit score down to 500, and they're looking for things like, I just got a new job, and in the past they generally wanted people who'd been at their job for a while, but now as long as they have a job, the job looks promising, their credit score is decent, they're changing their criteria a bit. So that's a good tip. I hope you like that one. And then another one is stay in touch with your tenants, and don't let them get behind on their rent, because you know what? Follow your procedure, which I believe with the rentalsman area in our area, you can give late rent notices within a week. Yeah, I believe they've got the week. If they haven't paid, you can actually set out for an eviction notice and give them a notice of eviction, even if they've made arrangements to pay. The reason is they'll tell you, and this is not everybody, gosh, 95% of our tenants are just awesome. But what'll happen is they'll make arrangements to pay, and they'll plan on paying, but something will come up, and something will come up, and something will come up. But if you give them an eviction notice, that just puts things in movement for the rentalsman so that you can move forward quickly. Once, if they've went, because you know what, if they've went the whole month and not paid, who the heck can pay 2 months rent in 1 month? Very seldom. That now they're just going to move on you. They're going to move. They're going to have 1 free month rent. They're going to move somewhere else, or they might try to stay for a while. So those are the things you really need to watch. Call their references. That is a big one. When you get references from their leases, call them. It's so important. Another thing is get a family member as an emergency contact. And with younger people, that might be their parent. And then when they're having challenges, call that parent and say, well, Johnny here's having trouble meeting his rent. I don't want to evict him. Do you think you can help him out? And he said that works a lot, because parents understand protecting their kids' credit, even if kids don't always understand it. So that was something that I learned. I didn't think about calling the parents before. So I'm going to approach my property managers and just ask them, because it's quite likely they already do it. But just in case they don't, I'm going to make sure that they do. And friends and coworkers don't work for that kind of reference, because they don't care if their friends pay a bill. Their parents will care if they pay a bill, or someone closest to them, maybe an older brother or a sister who would kick them in the ass and make them pay. So I hope that helps. Okay, what's next one? Good morning, Ed. I've recently come into money through an inheritance. Do you recommend partnering with experienced investors on a larger building for less ownership, or getting into doing a fix and flip project? Time is a factor for me, as I have a full-time job already, but could hire my son as a contractor to do a fix and flip. That is a really good question. And by you clarifying how much time you have, that's really, really important too. Because to me, a fix and flip is another job. Now, is your son, this is a good question to ask yourself, is your son an official contractor? Does he know what he's doing? Or are you just wanting to give him a job? If you're just wanting to give him a job and his knowledge isn't there, don't do it. You're trying to do a favor for your son, and it's going to come back and bite you in the ass. I talk about that because we've done it. Experience is if you're doing favors for people and they don't have as much skin in the game as you do, it doesn't always work. Sometimes it does, but you're going to have to make that call on whether your son is that contractor. You will have to manage the deal. You're going to have to figure out the numbers. And if you don't have a lot of time, you know what? Apartment buildings are some of the best ways to invest for long-term wealth and cash flow and just increasing your net worth. And like I said, if you get a chance, follow Corny today, because he's going to do a Facebook Live about how this one deal that they're working on right now has increased their net worth by 2,000%. One deal. Do you think that makes a difference for these guys? Absolutely. So you got to listen to that. Now, there are a couple deals that my students have under contract right now that they have not fully funded. They're very good deals, and I attempt to put a plug out for them. If you are looking at investing and you would like to start with an experienced group, the group of us that work together have over, well, you know what? It was over 60 with the new building that we're just taking on, 20 million more. So now we're sitting about $80 million of real estate assets, many, many years of combined experience, and we can help you get into a good property just by writing a check. Like, that's the easy part, people, to write the check to get into an apartment building. And we can show you how you get your money back, and how it comes out of cash flow back to you, and you can gain net worth and stuff like that as well. So if you are looking at just a straight investment opportunity, reach out to me. I do have a couple I can put you in touch with, and I'm a big believer in creating passive income as opposed to another job. I know fix and flips are popular right now because they're on TV so much, but they're not near as easy as people make them out to be. And they're not nearly as profitable every time too, especially if you don't have the knowledge. So if you're thinking of doing that, know that there's a good chance the first time you may not make any money. And you've got to be able to well, actually, this is a good point. Corny just pointed out, take your emotions out of your investment deals, family or not. Treat your investments or business as a hobby. It'll pay as a hobby. Treat it as a business. It'll treat you as a business owner. So very, very good point there, Corny. And so hope that answered your question. Reach out to us if that's something that you want to look at, and we'll help you out. The next question I have is, I've heard you mention an online course that you teach. Is this something that's for experienced real estate investors? Just finished reading a few books and I feel excited about getting involved in this business, but I don't really know where to start. Again, very, very good question. You know what? I strongly believe, and we did it, and that's why I say it worked for us, is you need somebody who's done this before you. It's going to short circuit your learning curve. It's going to short circuit your time frame. It absolutely does. I still remember when we signed up for our courses through Rich Dad, we paid $27,000 US. It was a stretch for us at the time. We used the equity out of our home to do that. And we at the time had all our money in mutual funds. Mutual fund market was down. I was not going to take my money out of a down market. So we got the equity out of our home and we used that for education. And we knew that it would take us a while to pay it back. As it was, it took us about a year because we bought a couple condos right away in September. We signed up for our classes, I believe, in June. And those two condos we were able to refinance about a year out, and we were able to pay that course off. And we would never have bought those two condos if we hadn't have taken our courses and teamed up with a group who'd already owned property. It's the fastest way. So yes, my course is starting, the next one's starting December, right around December 1, December 2, maybe even early into the next week. That's something I got to work out today. It's webinar based once a week, and I've got powerful feedback from it. If you think it might interest you, let's talk. Let's set up a one-on-one strategy call and just see how we can take this to the next level for you. And yeah, it's ready. It's good. Some of the people on line here today: Corny, Damon, John, Logan, Marja, Chandel, Derek. Hi, Derek. They've all been through the course. They can give you testimonials on whether you figure it'll work for you. It's I've heard feedback. It's some of the best money they've ever spent, and got them started and got them going like they would never have been going before. And also, I do have a mastermind that is for ongoing support, which if you decide to upgrade from the 90-day to 5K, that price is included in the mastermind. So I do offer ongoing support. There's a lot of free stuff. So if you're not quite ready to spend any money, listen to my Facebook lives, listen to some of my students' Facebook lives, because they're starting to get better and better at doing it, and you're going to learn. You're going to learn whether this is for you or not for you. There's work involved, but I like to tell my students, you know what, if you're wanting to make more money and you're thinking about manifesting money, it does not come in the form of a check. It comes in the form of an opportunity. And this, my friends, is an opportunity. If you want to take your business to the next level, and you can be a beginner and learn the right way, you can be a seasoned investor, and I can help as well. So what I'm really finding in real estate is that it takes money to make money. And it doesn't have to be your money. You can help a lot of other people invest in real estate by partnering with them, doing all the work while they're the passive investor up front. And then in the long run, you get to be a passive investor too. So that's my favorite way. I've been able to help a lot of investors myself, and they'll tell you that too. I can give references that way. And so yeah, if you need the free stuff now, take it. If you think you might be ready to and willing to invest in yourself, you're not sure where you can get the money, talk to me, because I'm really good at helping people find the money, maybe money that's right under their nose that they're not considering. And I'd love to chat with you and just find out if it's something that would work for you right now. And I have many people that have said it's not good timing for them. And if it's not, you know what? I'm around. I'm not going anywhere. So if next month's better, we can make that work. If next year's better, I'm going to still be here. Next question. Okay. What are the top 3 cities in Canada that you'd recommend investing in right now? Good questions here again today. You know what? One of my favorites is our city, Regina, Saskatchewan. We're in a bit of a lull right now. We're getting some really good bargains. Saskatoon's another one, probably even worse hit than Regina right now. It's going to take a strong stomach because you're going to have to deal with a higher vacancy, but it's going to pay off long term, I have no doubt. I was just listening to another investor the other day who's got billions in real estate. And he started investing in 1980 and 81, and he invests all across Canada and US. and he said that the places that he is concentrating on and only buying in right now is Western Canada, Alberta, Manitoba, and limited in BC, although there's some good opportunities outside the major centers. So Western Canada, we have investors that are coming in from US, and here's something for anybody out there who's an investor that thinks big. We've got access to funding the minimum $10 million. They don't even want to look at deals under 10 million, 10 to $60 million deals, and they'll fund them. There's a lot of hoops to jump through to get that done. But if you've got a big project that you want to work on, and I can put you in touch with the person that helps with that kind of stuff. And there's money there. There's a lot of money wanting to come into Western Canada right now. Don't wait a year. Don't wait 2 years. If you've got some big ideas, talk to me, and let's make it work for you. And if you've got smaller deals that you want to work on, well, I show you the way to talk to people, how to approach them, and how to keep them as investors, investing with you again and again. And Corny and John put Winnipeg. Yeah, Winnipeg's a great place to invest. That's we just bought a 30 unit there about 5 months ago, and it's doing really well for us. They've got some good stuff happening there, so that is another place. But like I said, Western Canada, top 3 cities I'd probably personally pick: Regina, Edmonton, Calgary, Winnipeg. Those are, I don't even think I can limit it to 3, because we're actually looking at some deals in Calgary right now that we couldn't have afforded 2 years ago because their prices were so high. But we're looking at buying into a couple newer buildings right now, and we think it's a good time to upgrade some of our portfolio. So we're looking at doing that. So yeah, I would say Regina first, probably Saskatoon second. Sorry, I'm a big Saskatchewan proponent. Winnipeg, Calgary, Edmonton. Not sure what order. You'd have to do your own due diligence on that. We're looking in all those places, and we'll make purchases in those places. Okay, what else do we got? And the next question is, what's your favorite style of investing and why? And I love this question too, because my favorite style of investing is long-term buy and hold. I'm not a fix and flip person. I don't want another job, or not a job like that. That's not us. We determined a long time ago that we wanted to just get into long-term buy and hold, and it's worked for us. We've got some really, really good deals. We've got some average deals, and we've got some deals that are not working so great. And you know what? I just know that long term, this is the place I want to be. We've been able to build up our portfolio so that we're getting $25,000 a month in mortgage pay down. That to me is our whole retirement plan. And when you have a plan like that in place, you know what? It takes a lot of scare away. It gives us the confidence to go after bigger and better deals. And we've increased our net worth a lot since we started. Haven't worked out the percentages. I'll have to do that because it'd be interesting to figure that out. And when you're looking at long-term buy and hold, it's really about building wealth, building a legacy for your family, building a legacy that's just going to change your whole family dynamics for life, and for our life and their lives. Like generation, that's generational wealth. These buildings that we own, we may not own the same buildings 10 years out, but we will own something similar. We may upgrade those buildings, but we're not going to get out of this business. It's too lucrative. And I love being able to refinance and pull money out tax-free. I love that. And that's probably what I'd say. And then our favorite way is apartment buildings. We started out with single family homes, moved into duplexes and fourplexes, but our absolute favorite way is apartment buildings, because you got a lot of tenants under one roof, and you're getting like 30, 40, 80,000 a month in some of those buildings, more not a month, a year, in some of those buildings mortgage pay down. Well, that adds up to a lot of money. And that takes the need away from buying RSPs and sticking them in mutual funds that are probably not going to earn you very much money. And I really think mutual funds are on the way out. More millennials aren't even buying in there today. And they're looking at something they can see in their backyard sometimes, and real estate fits that. They want proven ways. To them, mutual funds has not been proven, too risky, up and down, all over the map. My nephew actually sent me his pension plan statement the other day, and his 5-year return on that was 4.59. 4.59. I can show people how to take equity out of their home where they're paying a 3% interest and earn 7 net. You want to hear about that? Call me again. But it just doesn't make any sense to me. But pension plans, you're limited. And yeah, they've started to put some into real estate, but not as much. So I think if you're looking at long-term wealth, get some real estate into that portfolio. You need it. And not just your own personal home either. I don't consider your personal home a big asset. It's a liability because it's taking money out of your pocket, unless you've got rental properties paying for your mortgage like we do. So you can, think about that. It's my favorite way. It doesn't have to be everybody's favorite way, but it's absolutely my favorite way. And that looks like it's all of the questions I've had online previously. So let me just see if I can scan through and see what else I have for. Good morning, John. Good morning, Logan. Corny says, I love parties and I learned that dancing is good exercise. Yeah, we had a dance party down in Fort Lauderdale on the evening that we got there, and I had everybody up dancing. It was a blast. What else? Hi, Thomas. Hi, Damon. What else do we have on here? John says, if you're facing fear on whether you want to go to the next level, remember that fear doesn't exist. And this is a good mantra to say about fear is false evidence appearing real. So think about that. Yes, don't let fear stop you. Amanda says my hometown. Is that Winnipeg, Amanda? And Courtney says, that's why it's important to join a team. We have team members right across Canada. There's no competition. If you're a real team player, a piece of the pie is better than no pie. I totally agree. And Marja says, grow your portfolio faster in apartment blocks is the only way to go. And having a team, she also comments on. Courtney says, instead of everyone investing in a bunch of little deals, join our team and let's do some big deals. Love it. And Marja loves it too. Okay, so I think we are, oh gosh, we're almost an hour. I have a strategy call here in a few minutes, so I'm going to sign off. Thank you all very much for joining me. And I'll get the name of that book out to Chandel right away, so maybe she can plug it into the bottom of this so people can look at it. Amanda says, yes, Winnipeg most of my life, and then Saskatoon, and now BC. So loves Western Canada, right? That's awesome. I love Western Canada too. So great. Thank you all for being on, and next week, same time, same place.